Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, it is unreal to be here. It is so joyful for me. My stomach and my heart are doing butterflies right now and touching straight into your hearts. Thank you, Robert Kutma, wherever you are, for this amazing ushering to present to you, to share with you the message of the unbound heart. Who wouldn't want their hearts to be a little more unbound? So 9 minutes, can you believe it? A great challenge for a Greek. 9 minutes. How many of you have been to Greece? We will continue this conversation at my home for dinner, okay? You're all invited. That is how we do it in Greece. You know, we don't have limit times. I actually negotiated with David. I said, David, don't give me times. I'll cook for you Greek dinner. He said to me, okay, 2 dinners, I'll give you no time. Life is a little bit about all negotiating, you know, but what my mother taught me, I had this amazing mother. I was raised in Greece, obviously, with a name like Stassinopoulos and Agapi. I had an amazing mother. She died 12 years ago. And she taught me so many things, so many amazing things. My mother fought in the Second World War, the Germans in the occupation, told 3 German soldiers one day when they marched onto the Red Cross to put their guns down in perfect German that they had no right to shoot. And they did. And she said to me, after that, whatever I went through in my life, including your father, she used to call him my father. My father, you know, is a combination of the Greek gods, Hades, the god of the underworld, and Zeus, the king of Olympus. No rules. He lived out loud, trust me. So does every Greek, actually. And my mother suffered a heartache with him. I adored my father, and still do. But my mother went beyond her pain. Her pain didn't become her. Her love for her daughters, Ariana and me, was so much bigger that she overcame the difficulties, the adversities, and there were so many. From a 1-bedroom apartment in Athens, Greece, where we all shared a bed, my mother, me, and my sister. I slept in the middle. Can you imagine what I had to find out about boundaries later in my life? A lot. It took me years to find my voice, to find Agapi. And in this little time that I have, and if you want more, do read my book. I told my story. I sat in my garden for a year and wrote the Unbinding the Heart. As I was writing, I saw how everything that happened in my life, every single experience, was teaching me that I was never alone. In my darkest times, in my greatest angst and suffering, and not knowing who I was, there was an invisible map quest of my soul that was guiding me. It became visible to me when I let go of my own agenda of what I should be, what I should become, how I should fit in. It took me years to know that I didn't fit in. Nobody fits in. We are not supposed to fit in. We fit in with our own mold. And my dear friends, today I ask you with all my heart, give yourself permission to absolutely unlock the places that feel they should fit in. The little girls in the green room were playing a game before I came on. It was called Truth or Dare. Do you know that game? Will you teach me? I didn't play it in Greece. We played Monopoly. We wanted to acquire things, you know, and we cheated a lot. You know, we're Greeks, right? We talk with our hands, we eat, we sleep, we nap, we make love, we fight, we love our hips, we love our bodies. Have you ever seen a Greek goddess who doesn't have a voluptuous body? There's nothing thin, they don't go to the gym, they don't go on diets. There's a lot of freedom in the Greeks. There's a lot of unbindingness. So let's unbind everything. You know, we don't fit in. We don't have to be size 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. We are the size we are, and we come in all sizes. We come in all forms. Right? And we come in all nationalities. The Israelis, the Nigerians, the French, the Greeks, we are all everything, and we are all the same. That is what's so extraordinary. You heard every single speaker today, and every single speaker, we are all the same. So there's nothing to hide. It takes courage. It takes truth or dare to tell your truth. And the little girl said to the other little girl, if you don't play dare, you're out of the game. Right. If you don't dare, you're out of the game. This is it, people. This is it. I just came from the hurricane in New York. And my sister had a hip replacement surgery. Let me tell you, double whammy. I was shaken to my core. A friend called me and said, how are you feeling? I cried and I said, very vulnerable. And our house was fine. No power, no electricity, no refrigerator. So you know what? Vulnerability is in. No question. Remember when we used to all be together and we had it all together and I know it all? That's not in anymore. It's not in. It's vulnerability. We have to be vulnerable. We have to be transparent. We have to look at each other and say, we're the same. What can I do for you? My mother had this amazing phrase. We used to say to her, I love this. And she says, here, take it. And the person used to say, what can I offer you back? Or no, what can I give you back? And my mother would say, it's not a trade, darling. It's an offering. It was an offering. Her life was an offering. She gave everything. She had a rhythm of eternity. A rhythm of eternity. There was no rush with my mother. Her last day, before she died, the same day, we went to a Greek market and shopped the whole market and sat there. Bless his heart, Robert Kutba. My mother played Greek music the day she died and sung. And then she used to say, don't miss the moment. So in this moment, I will tell you my quick version of my Greek epic. You know, I thought my life was a Greek epic, but actually it's a simple story of a Greek girl raised in Athens, going to London, coming to Hollywood, and really wanting to have success and fame in her life with acting. I was raised in Athens, and I tried to find myself and longed to find the agapiness, as I call it, you know, my heart, myself. And it was challenging, and I thought, well, what if I go to study acting? Because I love dancing. But I thought, okay, I'll go study acting, then I can speak my truth. And I went, my mother said, Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts, you want to go there? We'll send you there. She found the best teacher. The first teacher didn't believe in me. And what do you think my mother said? My mother said, that's not the right teacher for you. We have to find a teacher that believes for you. Because she totally believed in my gift. I got to the Royal Academy, I studied the Greeks, I studied the Shakespeare. At my age of 19, I'm given to play Phaedra by Racine. How many of you know that part? You know, Phaedra loves her stepson, very taboo. If you're married to the king, you're not supposed to want your stepson. So she says to him, now figure this, I'll tell you a secret, I was still a virgin. I'm sorry, I was a virgin, 19. I was a Greek girl, you know, you don't lose your virginity till you really love someone. Or they love you back, or they ask you to marry. You know, it's a big thing, at least for me it was. So there I was, and I'm telling this stepson, I love you, I love you. I'm emoting, I am breaking through, and I'm finding a lot of my voice. And I'm finding through all the characters I played, and I finish, and I'm recognized as an amazing actress. And through synchronicity, because my mother believed in synchronicity, she raised us with feta cheese, olive oil, and the principle of synchronicity. She said, everything comes together. Just stand forward, ask for what you want, participate in your life, show up, don't let anything let you down, and offer. Offer even when you don't have, keep offering. That's how you keep unbinding. So I go to Hollywood, and I'm hired to do a movie. It's called The Swan. I'm given to play the lead. It's exciting. I think my dream has come together. And 3 months later, I'm told the movie doesn't have enough financing. You know, the Hollywood life, you know, the movie collapses. And I'm giving a choice. Should I go back to London or stay in Los Angeles to face the unknown? I decide to face the unknown, absolutely alone, away from my family, a culture I loved, all my friends. And I said, I'm going to stay in Hollywood because I'm yearning for something. I don't know what I'm yearning. I didn't really believe in God, but thank God He believed in me. Because I searched and I cried out, and I found out that I had a soul. And that all of us have a soul, and we are a soul, and we have a body, and we have a mind, and we have emotions, and I'm not just a Greek girl who wants to be a famous actress. And I found a lot of my spirituality and my voice, and I started to get more comfortable in that, but I still wanted an acting career. Would you blame me? I mean, I had studied, I was talented. So I started to audition, and every time I went for an audition, they would say to me, my God, you're so talented, but you sound Greek, but you don't look Greek. You're too short, you are too tall, you are too young, you're too old. And basically, get it, I just didn't fit in. But it took me years to realize that I didn't fit in. And so I was living in New York. My mother was still there with me, and she traveled with us, and auditioning for a 6-hour adaptation of all the Greek plays. And sure enough, I think I'm going to get a part. I don't get a part. The director calls me, and he says, I don't know what to do with you because you have too big of a personality. I can't fit you in the chorus. And I can't fit you in the big parts because you don't have a big enough star name. I'm so sorry, my darling, I cannot fit you in. I get completely depressed. I feel like Persephone in the underworld. And I get in the bus in New York to go to 72nd and Broadway for my singing lesson. Has anybody been to a New York bus? Okay, if you are depressed and you go there, you realize that everybody else is way more depressed than you are. I mean, everybody's recycling their worries and their bills and all the things that are burdening them. So I go in the bus, I feel my life has ended. My mother, of course, says, something better will come through, darling, but don't worry, it will come. And I sit next to a woman, and of course, being that I'm Greek, I start to talk to her. Because you talk to strangers, that's another way to unbind. You just talk. And I find out that she is a nurse who loved theater, single mom, gave up the theater to become a nurse to raise her son. And I say to her, oh my God, you love theater too. I said, I just auditioned for this Greek thing and I didn't get it. I mean, the woman is looking at me, really? I said, but I said, would you like me to do my monologue for you? She said, yes. And before she even has a time to breathe, I turn to her and I go, Joan of Arc. I auditioned with Joan of Arc, and she said, you promised me my life, but you lied. You think that life is nothing but not being stone dead. I can live on bread and water. When have I asked for more? Don't think you can frighten me by telling me that God is alone. God is alone, and France is alone, and I'm alone, but in my loneliness, I will dare and dare and dare in God's love and His friendship and His counsel. What would He be if He listened to your petty little counsels? I shall go out now to the common people and let the love in their eyes comfort me for the hatred in yours. You'll be glad to see me burned. But if I go through the fire, I shall go through it to their hearts forever and ever. So light your fire, and God be with me. And I turn around, and this woman has tears in her eyes. And what do you think she says to me? My dear girl, you are so talented. I said, I know. But I can't get the parts. And the whole bus is looking at this woman, this Greek woman who is emoting. And this woman, there was silence everywhere. And this woman turns to me and she says, Agapi, why don't you go do your own thing? And I got it. Right there and then, I got it. I got the part in the bus. That was my venue. And the veil lifted in a minute. My dear friends, my mother used to say, don't miss the moment. That was my moment, and I didn't miss it. I didn't miss it. Truth or dare, I dared, right? I dared to tell my truth right there and then. And at that moment, I left the bus feeling 10 feet high. I went and sang for my singing teacher like she was Broadway. I gave her my all. I wasn't waiting. I said, girl, you've been thinking that the world should recognize you, validate you, and want you. Well, they don't. You validate, you recognize, and you want yourself, because guess what? We're all wanted. We want, but when we want, we put straps around our hearts. We've got to let it go, stop that wanting, and then it's magical what happens, because beyond what we think we want, the careers we want, the success we want, the money we want, the relationship we want, and they don't come, guess what we get? What we really, really, really want, which is ourselves. And at that moment, I got Agapi. I never left her. I continued. She's still coming through. There's a lot more to go, of course, with all of us. But that was my first unbinding. And then I made a commitment to follow my spark, to follow my little light that then grew. So I share with you that with all the hope and encouragement and my commitment to just be heart unbinders. That is our very gift. And we owe it to ourselves to first give it to ourselves. Really let it in. Let us in. Let us in. And once you've let you in, just as you are, authentic, vulnerable, unconditional, nothing to hide, no more hiding, you come forward and then you give you. And it's beautiful. Whatever they do, it's okay, because you've got you and you share you. Thank you.